Welcome to the intention setting ceremony for September. Who is ready for a month focus on transformation? What are your thoughts on that word? I would love to know, because for me, it's interesting getting into all of kind of the metaphysical side of things as I do my crystals, as I got into essential oils, was just kind of realizing I have kind of a scientific mindset. I'm basically pretty even on left and right brain. And so I don't love all of the terms that people tend to use. Things that I use all the time now, right? Abundance, mindset, transformation. Any of those terms, really kind of like shop talk. If you use them over and over and over again, then they kind of start to lose their meaning. Either you're saying it's scary. So it's a big word, right? Transformation means, I think it means totally changing, like revolutionary change. But it also means accepting that you're not in your final form yet, right? Accepting that there is something else, that there is a better place that you could be. And so I think that it is really important for us to start every month, but especially this month with the intention setting, because we could talk about transformation all month long, and you could be thinking about it in really generic terms and never really get to the point of understanding it or of putting it into practice. So that's what we're here for tonight, to really figure out what is the transformation that you're going to be doing in your life, so that as I'm saying all of these things, you can actually put them into play instead of just thinking of this like big mystical word and not really learning that much. So I hope everybody's on board with me. Give me some thumbs up if we're good on that. Let's start with the definition of transformation real quick. So here's what the dictionary actually says about transformation, okay? Quote unquote, a metamorphosis during the life cycle of an animal, or the induced or spontaneous change of one element into another by a nuclear process. Boring, right? Like, besides the fact of induced or spontaneous change, this doesn't particularly speak to me as a human. But if we look at that little nugget, induced or spontaneous change, it reminds us of the fact that every single day we're actually changing whether we want to or not. We're making decisions whether we want to or not. Our cells are literally changing. They say every 7 years you have an entire new set of cells, right? So if you are focusing on transformation, you're in control of the process. You're actually saying, I'm going to change anyway. Let me change to become a better, brighter version of me, right? And so that's a really cool thing. And when you just realize it's not a scary word, because all it means is that change is happening and change is going to happen anyway. But I wanted to know what you guys thought. So I asked in the Creativity Club, what does transformation mean to you? And I got back some great answers. Somebody said, a change for a better me. Take the you that you are and turn it into the best you that you can be. And then one of you guys gave me a great long answer, okay? It would feel like freedom. It would give me a chance to know what it feels like to be strong and independent, to live in a state of happiness and abundance in different ways, to allow myself the opportunity to stand in my uniqueness and give the world my gifts without judgment or fear. So they took transformation and they made it totally particular to kind of an opposite of the way that they feel, a way that they want to feel. And that's what we really want to get to here tonight is my transformation, things that I need to work on are not the things necessarily that you need to work on. Obviously there's overlap, but we are in different places. We're different people. We have different strengths and different weaknesses. And so I want you to be honest with yourself on what is the thing that you really need to work on. And sometimes I will tell y'all during our different workshops, look, pick either the easiest one or the hardest one. Whatever you have the energy for, pick that to work on. I'm not using that for this time. I want you to pick the hardest one. I want you to pick the one you don't think you can do. Because this is the month where we're going to really delve deep into the positive but also the negative sides of transformation, and I'm going to do some hand holding. I'm going to be there and let me know what is it really like, and we're going to work you through it. So pick the hard one tonight. Whatever it is that's speaking to your heart, go with that one. Don't go for the easy one, okay? So the real reason that I chose transformation, month one we did breaking through fear. Month 2, we did growing self-confidence, right? And month 3, it's time to talk about the T word. It's time to talk about transformation, because over these past 2 months, we've each grown and expanded ourselves, and we're beginning to see the results of that. We're beginning to see the positive things like having some more energy, having some more focus, having some more confidence. Y'all give me thumbs up if any of these apply. Feeling a little bit more abundant, realizing that it's time to be grateful for what you already have. Faith in the future, belief in the future, right? So we're getting all of those great and wonderful feelings. But there's also some not so great things that happen during transformation. That you find new obstacles, right? The farther you get on your journey, the farther down the road you get, the more obstacles you hit, because that's life. They're going to be there. If you stay in one spot, you feel like, well, if I don't move, maybe nothing hard will happen, right? But as you move, you're going to come up against these obstacles. Another thing would be stepping on toes, right? As you expand and you take up more room in the universe, there might be people who are right around here, and you've now moved into what they consider to be their space, right? So that could look like in business. You could be growing your business, and you could be now competing with somebody that used to be above you, and they don't love that because they've just now got a new competitor. It could be somebody that felt like they were better than you. Well, now you're making these moves and you have more confidence, and now they don't feel so great just because they're better than you. The opposite can happen with friends or family, is that they see you moving forward and taking control of your life, and they're not ready yet. They're not ready to make the change. They're still making excuses for themselves. They're still living in fear, and they don't like seeing you move forward because it feels like judgment on them. You could be totally loving and non-judgmental, but if they see you trying to get somewhere in life and they're not, then they can take that personally, right? The third, and the one that I think is the scariest and that makes you feel the most lonely maybe, is the emotional detox. And so we're going to spend a whole week on that next week. But emotional detox, if it hurt, if that emotion hurt when you first experienced it years and years ago, it's going to hurt getting it back out. That painful past memory that you've got to work through is going to hurt getting back out. Just like whatever the pounds that you put on are hard to get off. The toxins in your body, they hurt when you get them back out, right? So it's not fun, but it's just like losing weight, where you know when you feel those withdrawal symptoms, you know something good is coming. And you just need to be able to recognize the emotional detox as the same sort of thing. So now is the time. I've got all of you guys going. You're putting in the effort. You believe me, but I don't want you to turn tail and run when the going gets tough. So we're going to dig deep, and we're going to really get to the point where we understand transformation. We understand how to make a change, how to deal with obstacles, how to rebalance ourselves, and then how to do it all over again to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. So I hope y'all are excited about that. Give me some thumbs up if you're ready. In preparation for this, throughout the month, or throughout the week, I asked in the Creativity Club some questions to help guide me as to where you guys were. And so here are some of the answers that I got. Okay, first question I asked was, what emotions do you feel on a daily basis? So I showed y'all the picture of the wheel, the emotion wheel, right? And it had all the different ones, like there was fear, envy, distractedness. They're just all of these different, joy, all these different emotions you could feel. And I asked, which of all of these do you guys feel? And overwhelmingly, it was fear and apprehension, or anticipation, which is kind of like impatience, or and the positive side of that would be like believing something good's going to happen, right? So believing something good's going to happen, or being impatient for it to happen. Those are the opposite of that coin. Or sadness. So I wanted to focus on those. If y'all have other emotions, y'all can go back to that post in the Creativity Club. And if you have other emotions, let me know. But I think that these are pretty universal. That's why we started in month 1 with breaking through fear, and then with growing self-confidence, which is kind of the opposite of fear, right? Because that's such a natural human emotion. And we're still dealing with it because that's just life. You're going to go through your entire life having to look fear in the face. And so that is totally fine, that's still an emotion that is overruling. The more you move forward, let's be honest about this. If you took a step forward and you were like, okay, I'm happy here, I'm going to just stay here, some of that fear would go away. But the next time you take another growth step, the fear is back. It's the fear of change, the fear of the unknown. And so every time we push ourselves, we bump right into fear again. So you may be living in a constant state of fear as you're transforming, but totally worth it, okay? So the second question that I asked was, why are you hanging on to that negative emotion? Whatever it is, why can't you let it go? And so you said things like, it's a habit, right? It's a habit, comfort level, fear of the unknown, fear of vulnerability. I like what one of you said, you're used to them and they're a habit. It's even a comfort, even if it causes you unhappiness. So like eating that entire pizza, even though you know tomorrow you're going to feel like crap, it comforts you right now, right? Letting them go means being open and vulnerable. Scary, especially if the last time that you were vulnerable, it didn't turn out so well. That new hurt might even be unfamiliar. So again, fear of the unknown and fear of vulnerability. And I followed up this question with asking you guys, are you perfectionists? And that was really to get to the next part here. I really think that a lot of us who are in this group, especially because we're driven, we want to have a business, right? We believe that we can make something happen in the world, even if we suffer with self-esteem, we actually want something out of life. And so a lot of times there's perfectionism involved. The same person said, her perfectionism comes from never feeling good enough. She needs to do everything right, but it doesn't feel good enough. And she knows it won't feel good enough until she accepts that she is good, right? That she is good enough. So we are both feel a need for everything to be perfect and also feel that we are imperfect. And so then as you move forward in fear, it's a loss of self-control and it's a feeling that I might not be good enough. So that was pretty much what I expected from you guys. So really quickly, here were my thoughts, okay? My thoughts as we delve deeper into this in the coming weeks, I think that your reluctance to take that first step, your reluctance to join me on the road to transformation, once you get on there, you know, it's different. We have to deal with the obstacles and stuff, and some of you are already there, and some of you are just, you've got your toes off the ledge, and you're just kind of looking down, and you're really not sure about taking the first step. And I think that reluctance to take action comes from one of three things. One, addiction to those negative emotions, hence the detox. You're literally addicted to it, just like you're addicted to pizza, even though you know it's not good for you, right? Two, fear of loss of control, which goes with perfectionism. And three, fear that you'll put in all of this effort and it won't get better. And you know, I dealt with those when I was dealing with my hypothyroidism, dealing with my failed relationship, dealing with working as a retail sales manager and working harder than everybody else and feeling like I wasn't, you know, nobody cared. I could just keep working hard and it wouldn't matter. A lot of that stuff had to do with either thinking, if I keep putting in this effort, maybe it won't get better. And that's kind of a depression thing. And I'll tell you honestly, for me, the depression was from the hormonal imbalance. And so as I was asking these questions, a lot of people were telling me the thing they wanted to work on this month was a physical thing, was a health thing, right? That for the past 2 months, it had been about emotions, it had been about fear of the unknown, or it had been about lack of focus or things like that. But when I asked you guys, what's the one thing that you don't like about yourself that you want to change? It was almost always a health thing. Like, I want to have more energy. I want to eat better. I want to take better care of myself. I want to be skinnier and all of that stuff. And there's no reason for you to not focus on that. I don't want you guys to think because we're talking about emotions and because we're talking about mental stuff that I don't think that the physical is important. This is a little bit of a tangent, but I really do believe if you struggle with depression, if you struggle with that one, that very often it's a sneaky physical thing. It's a thyroid thing or a hormonal thing that if you could handle it from that direction rather than just saying stop being sad, that you could get a lot farther. We discount the way that the physical and the emotional interact. But number two, fear of loss of self-control was huge for me. The crazier my life got, the more I tried to hang on. I tried to do two things. I tried to organize the chaos. I tried to keep it from getting worse, right? And then I tried to sweep it under the rug. I tried to just, like, my life is a total wreck, but as long as nobody else knows, it's okay. So, you know, I have a terrible marriage, I don't like my job, I'm totally creatively unfulfilled, and I have hypothyroidism, but as long as it looks fine, at least I've got that. And I was afraid to change because I knew the first thing was that I had to admit that I didn't have control, that I needed help, right? And so that was giant for me, realizing that I was wasting all of my energy trying to play, you know, referee or trying to just manage chaos when I should have been replacing chaos with something else. I should have said, admit that you need help, admit that you need to make a change, and put your energy towards that. That was the pivotal moment. And that was, part of that was kind of letting go of that perfectionism, just being like, Erin's not perfect. Erin's lovely, but she's not perfect. And you know what? Nobody else is perfect either. And so why are we all so worried about that? So that brings us to why we're talking about transformation. I hope you're all on the same page with me. No matter what your thing is, this is the moment to say the hardest one, I'm choosing it, we're going to conquer it, okay? And then we're going to talk about our affirmation. So first, real quick, if you have your transformation oil already, grab it, right? This is the oil, and then your crystal that you've chosen, or the one that I was recommending, which is the Peridot, okay? I decided rather than doing a necklace this month that I was going to do my new bracelet. So this is it's got the cute lotus charm. This is actually a lava bracelet, so I can put the transformation oil on there so I have it all day long. So that's a super new thing. And I also wanted to keep using my onyx because I wanted to keep doing grounding to help me with patience. So the reason, if y'all missed the releasing ceremony last month where we talked about this month, the reason I chose transformation oil and the reason I chose Peridot are because they both help us to release the past negative vibrations and negative habits, and they make it easier for us to pick up the new habits and pick up those new vibrations. So it's basically, it's doing a dual thing. It's saying, okay, let it go and pick up the new thing. And that's exactly what we need to do, that cycle. Let go of whatever doesn't work for us anymore and pick up the new thing. And at some point, we'll need to do it again and again and again, okay? So if you're ready, grab your oil, okay? Put some in the palm of your hands, and I will reveal to you the affirmation. So this month, I wanted to keep it simple. One crystal, one oil, one affirmation. Just to show you that you can do this over and over and over again. Okay, so Ida, Peridot is your birthstone, C, so you're ready for transformation. That is you are the transformation lady then. So everybody, grab your oil, and we're going to repeat this together, but I'll tell you first. So it's a three-part. The past falls away, my present is light, and my true path lies before me. The past falls away, my present is light, and my true path lies before me. So this is a different formula from what we've used. This came to me. I was kind of meditating as I was preparing for this month, and this is just what kept coming into my mind. And I think it's really good because it's really just a soothing one. I wanted something that would be reassuring. You know, it wouldn't seem so abrasive as I release. I choose, I believe, I manifest. I wanted something you could say that would really help you through any moment, no matter what. And so I do think that you need whatever yours is. So this month I'm going to be working on releasing impatience. So I'm going to still say I release the trapped emotion of impatience, which no longer serves me in a positive and productive manner. And then I'm going to say I choose, I believe, I manifest. It's opposite for me, which would be, I would say, purposeful and intentional decision making. I still think you need to have one of those. And if you can come up with it, great. Let me know what it is. I'm going to do a post tomorrow. If you have trouble with that, it's okay. I'm happy to help you. Last month I created an intention setting coaching call, just a 30-minute one, because I thought, you know what, this is going to make more sense for me to get face-to-face with you across the computer and just figure this out for you. So you can set that up. We can do the intention setting, or you can figure it out yourself. But let's all do the general one together. So everybody, hand on your head, hand on your heart, grab your crystal. If I was using my bracelet, I would just take it off, right, and hold it in my hand so that I'm also imbuing that into the crystal. But we're going to say it together, okay? And I'm going to say each one 3 times. You can do this however you want, but the past falls away. The past falls away. The past falls away. My present is light. My present is light. My present is light. My true path lies before me. My true path lies before me. My true path lies before me. So we're replacing whatever was in our brain, right? The negative stuff in our brain with these positive affirmations. We're using the essential oils as aromatherapy for the limbic system, right, to boost that. And we've got our crystal for all day long to help us remember that, okay? So I want you to tell me, what is the one thing that you want to work on? I want you to be thinking about that, and I want you to put it in the comments because we're going to come back to it. What was the thing? I wrote some of them down that y'all had shared with me in the Creativity Club, but what was the one main thing that you want to focus on? And we're going to use that later, okay? So be thinking about that. But let me tell you why I chose these phrases. The past falls away, okay? To me, that basically just means letting it go easily. We're going to talk about this one really specifically next week as we talk about detox, because what we tend to do is grab onto it and not want to let it go, right? Or drop it like a hot rock, or yell at it and say, go away, go away, go away, right? What we need to do is just let it fall away. Just let it go. Just whatever you need to do, let those negative thoughts float through your mind. Relive that negative story if you need to, but don't hang on to them and don't judge them. Just let them go, okay? So we're going to talk more about that as we get into next week. The second one, the present is light. The present is light. So that, y'all write in the comments what that means to you. What does that mean to you? The present is light. To me, I actually wrote it down. I wrote a whole list of these. But for me, the thing that is comforting about this is that I don't mean the present is easy, right? I don't mean that the present is happy, always happy, or the present is always joyful. I mean, there are emotions that we go through, there are struggles that we go through, and it doesn't always feel easy, but it's light because I know where I'm headed, I know my plan to get there, and I know I have the tools that I need. So in more specific, I put, I know that the effort is going to pay off. I'm grateful for what I have now. I'm full of belief and hope and a plan of action, which is simplifying things. I have the tools that I need. I have my crystals, I have my oils, I have my exercises, my affirmations. I take care of myself. I make time for self-care. And I also have balance. I know my strengths. I know my weaknesses. I use my strengths. I work around my weaknesses. I improve myself in mind, body, and spirit every day. And I start my day right with intention setting. So it doesn't mean it's easy, but it means I know where I'm going, I know what to do to get there, and I have the tools that I need. Joanne said that there is hope. Yeah, that it's not dark, that there is a light, that there is a path, that you do have the tools that you need to get there, okay? And then the last one, my true path lies before me. We're going to talk about this in week 3 when we talk about the cycle of transformation, how to do it over and over and over again, okay? Basically, this means that I do know where I'm going. It's my true path because I am unique. It's not somebody else's path. It's not a path for a generic person. It's a path for me and my uniqueness. And the more I understand my uniqueness, the more I become my true self, then the more my path is defined, the easier it gets to walk that path. So it's reminding me that I'm special, that I'm unique, and that the more I concentrate on that, the easier this path will get, okay? So we'll talk more about that in week 3, but let's focus on the present is light today. Why is the present light? The fastest way to make the present light is by not worrying so much, okay? When you worry, you're weighed down by your worries. There is no way to feel light if you are carrying a heavy load. And there are things that you need to focus on, be concerned about, work through, but they need to be the things that you can control. They need to be the things that you can actually influence, not the things that you don't have control over. So somebody said today in the Creativity Club that one of the things they wanted to work on was not worrying about things that weren't their job to worry about, that was like somebody else's problem, but they were worrying about them anyway. And also that if it was something that they couldn't control, not to be trying to control it, right? So that is the way to make the present light. It's not to not have things that you need to focus on and things that are concerning you, but it's to let go of the ones that you can't control. And so that is where we get to the secret for powerful planning, okay? Now, those of you who got the email, I hope that you all did, and you got your worksheet. I will show you what it is, and you can message me or write your email in the comments, and I will get it to you. But this is the worksheet. Page 1, page 2. We're basically just going to follow the instructions. I want you to write all your current concerns in the left-hand column. All right, so this column goes all the concerns, and then this one is going to be for the things you can influence. So what's a concern? Something that you want to accomplish this month, something that you're worried about, and the ways that you want to transform. Okay, so I want you guys to write those out. You're going to have a list in this column, okay? Now you need to decide, is it something that you can influence? Is there a baby step that you could take sometime in the next 30 days to make this concern start to go away, okay? So for me, I wanted to complete my line of aromatherapy jewelry, so I came up with this, the lava bracelet, right? Because I had just been using wood. I hadn't been using the lava. It's just been sitting in a drawer, and so I needed to, like, okay, Erin, go ahead and do it. So that was on there. So just the fact, I do one every month, and usually not quite as beautiful. I just take a piece of paper. But that was one of the top things on there. So actually, as I was writing this at the end of last month, preparing for this month, I went ahead and made the bracelet because I already was like, just go ahead and do it. So complete a line of jewelry. Obviously, it would be make one piece, make a plan, sketch something out would be step 1, right? Videos on YouTube. I want to get more videos on my YouTube channel. So yes, I can do a video. I can come up with an idea for a video would be the baby step 1. Baby step 2 would be to actually do the video. Finding a new job or new career field. List 1 new flower style. Okay, great. So Jen, you have new job or career and a new flower style for your personal business, right? So is there something you can do? Now, the answer, here's where people get confused. They think, okay, I have to find a new career field. Okay, go find it. And their game plan is find it. Where your game plan should be, sit at the computer for an hour today and look through, Glassdoor at, where are some good places to work, or email some people in the field that I want to be in and ask them if they know of any openings. It's like little bitty things. A new flower style could be sketch some ideas. Getting my finances organized, my first step was just get everything into the spreadsheet. Anything I had spent money on, get it into the spreadsheet and worry about trying to do inventory later, right? Don't try and do all the finances, just do one. Okay, Joanne, I've taken on a task way bigger than anything I've ever done before. Start sketching and planning and watch videos. Okay, so you have a long-term task that you're going to do for your business, and you're at the point of start sketching and planning and watch videos. And I would even say pick one of those, and that's step 1. If you're comfortable doing all 3, great, but sometimes saying I'm going to do all 3 means you don't do any of them. So whatever is the most fun to you, or whatever you like tomorrow you feel like doing, do one of those. Okay, Ida, new part-time job, weight loss, winter holiday products, bill payments. Okay, and then Donna, weight, whether I have a torn meniscus, figuring out how to put my love for wine to use. Okay, so Ida, you're looking for a new part-time job. Now, for you, you've got geography to consider, right? You also have like timing for your kids to consider. So even before you look for a job, you might just say, okay, what's the geography I want to look in? Maybe I'll take 30 minutes and I'll think about that. I'll take 30 minutes and I'll think, what are the times I want to be home for the kids? What's my ideal situation for this job? So that when I start looking at them, it's not like all of the jobs. I'm really first trying to look for the ones that really fit my life, right? And you're taking it from, I need a job, I need a job, I need a job, to what's the job that I would like to get? Weight loss. You know, all of us, I feel like as women, we have all thought about either needing to lose weight or needing to gain weight, right? And that's one of those ones that we really think, I have to lose, 50 pounds. I have to gain 20 pounds. The doctor says if I don't, blah, 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 blah. And we just like freak out about it. And we try for a week, and then we haven't lost 50 pounds, and then we give up. And we go back to eating junk food. And so I really think that taking a different perspective, maybe writing a list of what are the foods that when I eat them, I feel great. What are the foods that when I eat them, I feel good? What are the times of day when I struggle with eating the wrong thing? Is there some sort of a plan I can have for times of day when I eat, ice cream? Or, how often I'm going to allow myself these things, rather than just like eating the entire elephant in order to lose weight, right? Eat bites at a time. And Jen, you said it sounds a lot less stressful to break up the strategy like that. Absolutely. I mean, there's no reason to try and take on everything at once. I think a really important aspect of this is that if you see 5 giant problems, you think that they all need to be solved now. Paying bills, if it's next month's bill, it needs to be solved by next month, obviously. But having like my inventory, well, that needs to be solved by the time I pay my taxes next year. So if every single month, if I stress out about if I have completed my inventory, that's really a waste of my time, because there are other things that need to come first, and I'm just stressing about something I'm never going to do because in the back of my mind, I know that it doesn't have to get done, right? And it's also, if I said I need to have a YouTube following, I was watching some videos today, which was my first step, watch videos on how to gain a YouTube following, and they're all like, it's going to take 2 years. So if I'm sitting there, if I haven't watched those videos and I'm like, why don't I have followers yet? Why is no one following me? Well, I haven't even watched like the 7 videos that all say it's going to take a while and just do X, Y, and Z. And so I'm freaking out over nothing because I haven't done step 1, which was just watch some videos of some experts that have things that they can tell me, right? So if you haven't already, write over here, what's your 1 baby step, okay? And if you've done that, this is to go on your wall, okay? The circle of concern, this is every single thing you're worried about this month. Inside of that, circle of influence is something you can do. So if you have something that you have no idea, there's no baby step, you have no control of it, maybe you're worried about, you have cousins in Texas and you're worried about their safety, okay? Well, there's probably nothing you can do except maybe, send them money or something like that, or whatever it would be. But if there's not really anything you can do, if you're worried about the hurricane and you've already prepared, then that goes in the circle of concern. That goes on the outside, okay? But if it's something that you do have a baby step for, then the baby step goes in the inside. I'll show you my ratchet one. So I have here, complete line of jewelry. This one is 1 to 2 videos per week. So I wanted to get more YouTube videos. So rather than I need 17 YouTube videos, I want to try and do 1 to 2 per week. That may even be too much, and I may have to scale it back. But let's see. And then number 5, watch all free videos and tutorials for YouTube and Pinterest, because I had wanted to do Pinterest this month. I think that I'm going to put that off until next month. But once you get all of these on here, you realize you have a giant to-do list, okay? This is what I would call your master plan. Your master plan has so many things that you will never lack for things to do, and also plenty of really important things that you don't need to be wasting your time on the unimportant things. So What this will actually do is if you put this on your wall, every time you write a weekly plan, every time you write a daily plan, if you look at this first, if you look at this and you say, all right, did I take care of the ones I said I would do weekly? Okay, what do I think I can get done today? And you write it based on that. Then you don't come up with a whole bunch of emotional decisions like, for some reason, every couple of days, I think, I have to reorganize the way my jewelry is on my website. I just have to do it. And then I'll start to do it, and then I'm like, Erin, like, A, you don't have enough traffic to be worried about that yet. You're still building your traffic. And B, then you basically, it's shoppable. You have things that you need to work on that are more in disrepair or are more important than someone having to scroll to see the jewelry. It's just not as important as you think it is, but emotionally I want it to be pretty, and so I every 3 days I make this like emotional decision to go start working on it, and then I reel myself in, and I'm like, there's a reason it's not on here, because it's not that important, right? What do I write on the side? If you mean this side, the influence side, if you mean this side, it's your baby step. So complete line of jewelry. So make one aromatherapy bracelet, right? Make one. So for you, you know, find a job, email friends in the area I want to be in and see if they know of anything. That's baby step 1. And you're not allowed to move to baby step 2 until you've done baby step 1, right? So if baby step 1 is not a fun one, like me putting all of my finances into a spreadsheet, well, I'm not allowed to worry about anything else financial until I've done that. That will help you from avoiding the ones that are really important. Oh, you were seeing through the paper. Okay. Yeah, so all of those that you write in that column end up in the middle. This is your to-do list. This is your master plan. All of these things. This is just, I just write them on the side because I can't be bothered to print out this thing that I created for myself. That's impatience. But, so all of these things in the middle. I want to complete my crystal guide that I had on the website that was going to be like each crystal and what you would use it for. And then I like keep thinking I'm going to tackle this whole thing, which is not plausible because I have too much else to do. So what I decided was 3 crystals per week in the guide. So whether that's 1 a day, you know, for 3 days, or whether that's 3 and a shot, but baby step 1 would just be to do 3 a week rather than saying I have to have it all done, I have to have it all done, I have to have it all done, and just like stress, 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 stress. Cynthia, you get the steps. I can't read that part, but you're going to work on your to-do list plan. So basically, you'll still have a daily to-do list, but this is the master plan. And it keeps you from, A, creating a bunch of busy work that you don't actually need to do. It's not as important, and putting aside the things that are important. And it keeps you from emotionally adding things on out of stress, like me saying I need to redo my entire website, that aren't as important, because you think and prioritize once. At the beginning of the month, you create a master plan, and then all you have to do the rest of the month is execute a baby step. Okay? So, oh, Cynthia, you understand the baby steps. Okay. Yeah, so does everyone, give me some thumbs up if you get this. The secret to powerful planning is plan once a month. Okay? Prioritize and plan once. Create a master plan, and then if you want to add something later, realize something else has got to come off. If I decide, what did I take off? Oh yeah, so I had actually had fix the website on here because I keep wanting to do it. Fix the jewelry listings on the website. But then I actually wrote the other day, you're not going to be able to see it, but down here I wrote, work on the jewelry first. So I realized, Erin, you don't have time for this. You want to finish your line more than you need to do working on the website. So anytime you're adding or reprioritizing, something else is going to get bumped down. So if it's not on here and you put it on here, you better take off number 8 or 9 on your list and put that one on instead. You can't just add because you don't get to add time, right? Okay, so here is the key to transformation. I hinted at this in the beginning. You are making decisions every single day, whether you want to or not. You are making decisions when you wake up in the morning, whether or not to hit snooze, what to have for breakfast, you know, whether to have a good attitude or a bad attitude, whether to be late for work or not, whether to concentrate, whether to watch TV or get something done instead, whether to read a book, whether to exercise, what to eat. All of those are decisions you have to make anyway, right? But the ones that you think you're not deciding, you're also deciding. When you say, well, I have to go to work, I have to go to Trader Joe's today, I have to go pick up the kids from school, you're trying to shove that one off on somebody else, but it's still your decision. You're still deciding it. And if picking up the kids from school is something that you're going to choose to do because you want your kids to be able to come home and be safe, then put that in your circle of concern and make that the thing that you do every day. And realize that you may not be able to get as much done, but you are choosing that. And to choose it, to take the power back and say, I have the influence here. I can leave my kids or I can pick them up. And I choose to pick them up rather than just, you know, complaining about it or wasting your energy feeling like it's somebody else's fault. And Cynthia, you're saying, I fear my list is too big. It may be too big. This is a reality check, right? It's a reality check. When I first started doing this, my list was like 25 things wide. And some of them I still haven't even finished. This crystal guide has been on there for like 4 months. And so it's, you know, number 9 out of 10 things, but I've been putting it on there before I really needed to. There were other things I need to work on first, and some of it might be that I'm doing busy work instead, and I haven't been prioritizing. But don't put more worries on your plate than you can handle. If this is something that is outside of your concern or something that you need to put off because it is not, you know, top 10, then you're not allowed to worry about it. You are not allowed to worry about it. I am not allowed to worry about the crystal guide until I'm ready to take step 1 of doing 3 of them. Does that make sense? That is how my present is light, because I am not allowed to worry about the things that I'm not willing to take action on. Joanne, you said even the daily things count. Whoa. Yeah, I mean, you got to do them, right? Like, you're making a decision every day to do those things. And then Ida, how do I know what busy work is? Busy work is something that is getting in the way of getting the most important thing done. So, let's see. For me, it might be, one way I like to stay busy is writing a lot of blogs. I could write blogs all day long. However, if what I need to be doing is creating a post for the Creativity Club or creating a YouTube video, but what I want to do is write another blog, you don't see blogs on here. I didn't say write more blogs because I got that under control. That's not a problem. It's not a concern of mine. I know I can do it, right? You know, potentially I should put it on here if I'm saying put everything, but really this is like the stuff that has to get done and I don't want to do it, or I think it's hard, or if I don't put it on here I might forget. Like, really honestly, washing dishes should be on my list. I don't like washing dishes, but then they'll pile up and then it takes me an hour, right? I really, really, really dislike doing it. But if I just do it, then I look at my kitchen from here. So I'm having to either look at the dishes or get them done. So to me, it's not busy work to do them now, but it can be busy work to do something that's fun but is not actually getting you anywhere. Like maybe making 5 of the same scarf for you when what you need to be doing is coming up with new products. Or maybe you don't, maybe you're done coming up with new products and you don't need to be doing that. You need to be working on photography, right? But you're doing over here doing the little fun thing and you're not doing the thing that's going to make an impact. Jen, washing dishes is the worst thing in the world. Now that I use essential oil dish soap, it's not nearly as bad because I don't feel like there are chemicals going into my body. But I used, like when I was using Dawn, I was literally like, I'm dying. I'm literally dying right now. Let's see, Ida, I do my Tip Tuesday on Tuesdays. Is that bad? You mean, should you be doing it earlier than that? I mean, I prepare for this on Tuesday because otherwise, and this is actually another thing. When I first started doing these workshops, I would prepare for them for like the entire week. Every day I would worry a little bit about, okay, do I know what I'm going to say on Tuesday? Okay, let me just write it out. Okay, let me just make sure. But I realized no matter what, I'm an in the moment person. And so I would just rewrite the whole thing on Tuesday anyway, because I want it to be from my heart, and I want it to be with all of the things I've learned that week, all of the questions I've asked you guys, all the things I've learned myself. And if I'm writing it throughout the week, it becomes kind of a hodgepodge rather than just like what I feel right then. So I've actually taken that off my plate, and I've said, that was a giant waste of time. The hour I spent every day doing that was, I could have done something else. And just realizing that I need to be prioritizing that on Tuesday and doing it in one big chunk on Tuesday gets me the same quality video, but also saves me a bunch of time. Yeah, so however you feel. If it's easier for you to prepare it on Monday or on Sunday and then not worry about it, like if you're wasting time all week long because you're afraid that you won't have it and you need to do it earlier so that you don't worry about it all week, then absolutely do it earlier. If you write it and then rewrite 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 it finally on Tuesday, all of those first times might have been a waste. So it's totally individual, but you just need to realize that you need to worry about it when you're going to do it. And if you're not going to do it right now, you don't get to worry about it. If you're going to do it, you get to worry about it. If you're not going to do it, you don't. So, weight loss, let's talk about that. If you are not going to change your diet, you are not allowed to complain about being overweight, and you're not allowed to complain about being tired, and you're not allowed to complain about the fact that you can't do it. That is a waste of energy. You're wasting the energy that you have by saying, oh, but I wish I could, oh, but I wish I could, oh, but I wish I could. Look, pick something else. If there are things that are really more important to you, you know, like when I have friends over and Alan cooks beautiful food, delicious food that's terrible for me, I eat all that terrible food and I enjoy myself, and I drink alcohol and I enjoy myself. If I want to worry about the fact that I'm taking in calories, I want to worry about whether or not I'm going to have a hangover the next day, but what is the point? Because I'm going to eat the food anyway, right? I get to worry about it the next day when I say, all right, I'm going to eat a smoothie, you know, 3 times a day to just make myself feel better and kind of counterbalance that. Does that make sense? It's not that this stuff is not important. It's that we waste energy worrying about it rather than taking a step-by-step form of action. So if the hardest thing for you is time management, you know, then this is the month to work on it. If the hardest thing for you is health, then this is the month to work on it. And you need to put more focus into that than anything else, and do that first. Do that in the morning, get it out of the way, and then do the rest of the stuff. My dad used to love to say this. He said, what's the way to get the most rocks in a jar? How do you get the most rocks in a jar? I was like, what are you talking about? Take the jar, you put the biggest rocks in first, then you put the next size, the smaller rocks in on top of that, then you put the tiny rocks on top of that, and then you pour in the sand, the ground up rocks. Because the little rocks will fit in to the big rocks, but if you put all the sand in first, you won't have room for the big rocks. I don't know if y'all have heard that before, but that's how this works. You got to take care of the big stuff first. If you're going to worry about it, you need to take care of it. And then do the other stuff with what's left over, rather than avoiding the thing that you're worried about and spending time worrying and getting nothing done. Are we on the same page here? All of the months that I worried about my finances, about putting the stuff in the spreadsheet, it took me probably 2 hours, and I watched a BBC mystery show while I did it, okay? But there were plenty of hours that I worried about that and was distracted from doing my other jobs because I was worried about my finances. Waste of time. So I'm not perfect at this. I'm just better at realizing when it's happening and moving past it and saying, Erin, you either need to do it or you need to not worry about it, okay? So transformational decision making, I actually wrote down kind of a definition here, and this is what I want us to focus on this month. Whenever you are completing a plan, whenever you're making a decision, this is how you know if it's the right kind of decision. This is transformational decision making. It leads you forward. It recognizes fear and has a conversation with it. It understands your full potential. It sees the obstacles in the way. It plans and executes. It regains balance, and it begins again. It does not do fluff. It does not do sideways thinking. It does not do stressing about fear. It recognizes fear and it has a conversation with it. It does not do creating a bunch of to-do lists and not doing them. It plans and it executes, right? So it's about productivity that is not just busy work. It's productivity that is powerful. And you may not get some of the busy work done, but it's okay because that wasn't as important. So give me thumbs up if that makes sense. If you're still confused, if you still have questions, I'm happy to take the questions because I want us to be on the same page about this. The other thing that I want you to do, I had you guys print out this, the intention setting for daily life, right? Okay. So this I created for myself at the beginning of the year, I think in January of this year, because I decided, okay, my first step to becoming a different person, I was ready. In January, I said, you know what, this whole, what do they say that you do in January? This whole like setting up a New Year's resolution, this one is going to happen. I decided I am going to have a positive attitude. I'm going to have a positive mindset, and I am going to start my day being grateful for something that happened yesterday, and I'm going to live intentionally. Because that's what I know that I was not doing when my life was a mess, and so I know if I want my life to be not a mess, then I want to try the opposite thing, right? So that's how this whole journey started, okay? And so I have up at the top, right? I'll show you a blank page. Okay, this is less confusing. So up here it says intention for the month of September. So my intention for the month of September is to focus mostly on the middle one, which is the present is light, okay? Because I'm focusing on impatience for myself. And then today's date, what great thing happened yesterday? What great thing, and at first it might be hard to think of. You know, at first it might be like, well, I didn't stub my toe. I don't know. I can't really think of anything. But the longer you do it, the more and more and more and more things you have to say because you're actually paying attention. And then today's intention. So I'll write at max 3 things. Sometimes they're a to-do thing, but a lot of times they are like, enjoy the afternoon. You know, take an hour to yourself. Or be patient. Feel grounded. Don't stress while you're at Trader Joe's. Just enjoy being there. Right, so a lot of times there's a mindset component, and then there'll be, okay, like get this jewelry piece done so you can put it in the mail tomorrow. And if I didn't do anything else all day long, those are my 2 intentions, and that's what I'm going to get done. And so you've got your whole plan, right? Here, I have my master plan, and then daily, I'm setting an intention to get what I can done. And if it's not on that list, I'm not supposed to do it until I did the one that was on that list, okay? So basically, you're going to use your master plan and your intention setting to become efficient, to grow faster, to actually transform a little bit each and every day, for every day to be slightly better than the day before. And you will see by the end of the month. I do this every month. I take this. I wish I had gotten one out, but I take this at the end of the month and I cross them off. And it is amazing how much I get done from this list, and almost without even realizing I've done it, because as you look at it, it becomes so ingrained, and I'm like, ooh, I don't know if I got everything done, and then I cross it all off, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I did like all but one. I did everything but the crystal guide, or I did everything but the finances. And I got a lot of other stuff done too, the little bitty things, but I actually got my big stuff done because I looked at it every day. I looked at it every week, okay? And so it's not, in the past, what I would try and do is I would avoid doing my taxes. I avoided doing my taxes for like 3 months, and there's actually a video I did about that. I'm like, you know what? This is totally on me. I have stressed myself out for no good reason because I wouldn't just sit down and do it, but I wanted to stress about it, and that was a total waste of time. And the taxes thing is really what turned the light bulb on for me to realize how important and how powerful this method of planning is, that if it's in there, you got to do it. And if you're not going to do it, then you're not allowed to worry about it, okay? So next week, we're coming up to the end of the hour. Y'all post your questions real quick if you have any. But next week, we're going to be doing the one that everyone has been waiting for. We're going to be doing how to deal with emotional detox, okay? Y'all have been trying to make strides in life. You've been seeing some of the positive results, but you've been seeing a lot of the negative emotions that you have to work through. And we're going to be real, and we're going to actually talk about how do you deal with that? How do you keep from giving up at that point? So I want you to, this is your main thing for this week. I want you to come up with your own affirmation Okay, if you need to do a coaching call for that, you can do that. If y'all want to, if you go in there in the next couple of days and sign up for one, they're 30 minutes, so it's $25 for 30 minutes. If y'all sign up for it, I'll give you 45 minutes. We'll just do an extra 15, and we'll really go through it, okay? I'm happy to do that for you if you need help with the affirmation. But after that, after you do your affirmation, I want you to notice this week as you try and make these changes, as you try and use this planning method, as you try to not do busy work, as you try to tackle the hard things, as you try to, get over fear if that's your goal for this week, or health is your goal, or whatever it is, pick the one goal and work on it. I want you to pay attention to any of the negative symptoms that you experience, okay? Write them down. I'm going to be doing this stuff in the Creativity Club every day. And I want you to write, response in there so that by the time we get to the detox week, there's a lot of information for us to use. I don't want to just be talking at you. I want you guys to have some life experience. So I want you to be tracking this week what are the negative emotions that come up so that we can deal with them. And make sure that you go in the Creativity Club once a day, okay? I'm taking the time to create these posts for y'all to interact. And there are a bunch of y'all that do it every time, and I appreciate you for interacting, and I firmly believe that y'all are getting more out of it than people who are just showing up or just watching the replay and not actually engaging in the daily exercises. Because what I'm doing is giving you an opportunity every morning to get into that transformational headspace, and actually, that's your 30 minutes of transformation. If you don't do anything the rest of the day, you did something, right? And so I'm just giving that to you. I'm doing some of the effort for you. And then I will also put up the links for you guys to get the crystal and to get the oil. If you haven't done it yet, you can get the bracelet, or you can get the necklace, right, in Peridot, and also to get the coaching call if you need to do that. So if you have any questions, guys, go ahead and let me know. I will be around, as I always am, for 30 minutes afterwards. If you have a question you're not comfortable telling the room, message me right after we get off, and I'll respond to that. I'm super excited about this month. I know I just threw the kitchen sink at you guys. I know that this was a long one. It was like power-packed with all of the things, but I really wanted to get all of the information into your hands for how to make the most of this month, and then we'll kind of parse through it for the rest of the time. We'll talk about the different parts of the affirmation. We'll talk about the detox. We'll talk about the other stuff, but you kind of now know where we're headed, okay? So you're all wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for sticking with me the whole time. If you have questions, if tomorrow you wake up and you're like, what was the thing she said to do again? Just message me. It's fine. I want y'all to get the most out of this. You're wonderful. You're fantastic. You're some of my favorite people ever, and I cannot wait to see how you change this month. And we will see you next Tuesday, but until then, keep up with me in the Creativity Club, guys, okay? Alrighty, I will talk to y'all later. Have a lovely, lovely night. See y'all later. Bye.